Hello everyone, I am hoping that we're live. Yep, looks like it. There we go, we have got the Sims 1 opening. I'm just gonna check real quick that we actually have that it's actually loading with, here we go, the screen, and I'm gonna pull the chat up, so here we go. So we have all the weird families that we have been doing. And we do have there we are. We are all set up. So what we're doing today, oops, is playing some The Sims, and I'm going to read one of the installments of one of my books. So we'll be speaking about the Love Street Detectives today. The Love Street Detectives is the main series. I'm just renovating these people's trailer because it's shite. So I'm just doing some renovations. Don't mind me. There we go. Anyway, so The Love Street Detectives is the story about a magical family that is running a shop in London. They are running this cozy little magic shop. Okay, and the main characters are Anemone, also known as the sweetest human being to ever exist in the known universe. You know when someone is so lovely that they're like a little bit obnoxious? Yeah, that's her. She has a sister called Bluebell who is not lovely. She's lovely, but also not lovely. Best way of phrasing what Bluebell is like is absolutely fucking terrifying, but that is beside the point. So lovely and terrifying live together and run a shop together with the witch that is kind of friend of the family. Okay. And they do magical stuff and help people. It's very sweet, really. Not that Spider or Bluebell would ever agree to being called sweet. And your safety can really not be guaranteed if you would refer to them as such, but that beside the point. Did I remove the sink, or did they just not own a sink? Okay. But yeah, they do lots of magic-ish things together, and I am starting a series where we will be reading together all the chapters one at a time of the different books. So do look out for that. The full main novel Love Street Detectives is available in all the places where you would normally look to find books. So if you want to read along with us, go for it. And okay, what am I looking for? Oh yeah. This first story is the story that's called Who Did This to You? And we'll start by reading it. You can buy it as a ebook for, I think, 99p, pretty much anywhere. Or you can just follow along with us as we're I will be reading the kind of the first installment out loud as well, because it is quite short, so that is doable. We're gonna give them some cooking and mechanical skills because they're gonna need them. Also maybe shout at these creatures for peeing in places where they should really not be peeing. Did I delete all the ingredients there? I didn't feel like it. Oh, that was a really expensive random thing to have. Like a pinball machine? Who has that in their home? Especially if they live in a goddamn trailer. How is that blocking it? It is a hangy thing. That's weird. I'm just gonna go ahead and find that weird. Should really rename this to being the prequel of the book series, because this isn't actually from any of the books. It is before. There we go. Pre-book. Or, well, some of these are set before the book, some are after. It's just a short story collection. There we go. This particular one is set 2 decades, 2.5 nearly, before the main events of the first book. Elizabeth, who did this to you? Chapter 1. David. The closet was pitch dark. That was the whole point of why Elizabeth Sherwood had gone into it in the first place. As she closed the door and left herself devoid of any remaining light, she wondered how she ended up here. Alone, in the dark, probably about to die, and worst of all, taking her baby with her. It removes some of the gravitas of that part of the story that I'm just cleaning up like dog pee in the middle of reading it. I will make proper audiobook versions of these things as well, though. She blinked a tear away at that thought. She hoped that her oldest daughters were safe, that they were happy, growing up well, surrounded by loving family who took good care of them. Her partner hadn't let her contact her family or her children for a few years now. Her family had hated their father, but he had never treated her or her daughters like this. He had been a great fiancé and a great father. She regretted more than anything that she listened to the naysayers, never mind how well intentioned. And then, this evening, watching her partner scream at their baby, she had finally realized. It had come to her through the fear and the gaslighting. He was going to kill them both. How had it come to this? What went wrong? She'd grown up happy. Her family had a large lodge in Scotland, and her grandmother ran a magical shop in the hidden magical section of London. Her father was a monster hunter, her grandmother an enchantress, and her mother must have been the most patient woman to ever live. As Elizabeth and her sister Alice grew up, their care was often left to the family's most unexplained member. They'd never been told where Spider the Witch came from, but she'd always been around, always up for mischief, and great at getting away with it too. If anyone had told Elizabeth back then that she'd ever be in a situation where Spider couldn't help her, she'd have scoffed at their stupidity. Now she scoffed at her own. How on earth did she let herself be talked into cutting the witch off? She could have saved her now, had she not done that. Maybe it meant something that Spider had been the only one to actually like David. Well, Daivat. Really, but she'd first slipped up in bed, and not only had he never corrected her, he always seemed to preen at having been given a nickname, while everyone else had warned her against him. He was one of the dukes. The otherworldly guardians of the natural order. Let's head inside. Oh, it's not actually better. Room in there. Now we do have enough. Yeah, after selling the pinball machine, we have enough money to... This is quite, nice, but also probably unnecessary money to spend. And that flower and, what you should be putting in the corners, that reminds me of, a really early life when I was, speaking about what I'd, learnt in the week. And my learnings had been that, you should put something in the corners that didn't, get messed with by being in the corners. And then I just stated for no reason that, no, what I've actually learnt this week is it's easier to get away with kicking people if you're not wearing shoes. Because I kicked my boss. I have kicked him again since. The last time I kicked my boss, he was like, yeah, I deserve that. I'm so sorry. Oh, is it the flower or the thing that's keeping him from... Aww. You can't have that. I guess I'll move it into there instead. Shh. There's now a dog in the way. Hey! Be scolded. Maybe move. Do they not have, dog baskets? Apparently not. Is he sleeping in his pee? That's just wrong. So I did have a world. Oh, the dog baskets are gonna be too expensive, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, and there's a dog that made this vegetarian by being in the wrong space. Oh no, you're about to pee! They're about to pee, they're about to faint. At least they don't have bad memories from fainting, like Sims 2 Sims. Probably because they were doing it all the time, like, it's more of a standard thing. Aww, the boy dogs kicked the lady dog out of, like, she doesn't have a bed to sleep in. But it's free now. Aww. Come on, go to work. Yeah, once when I played this family, I did not realize that he was her son in, like, the story. And so I have before made them into a couple, and they've had babies before. In, like, 2 of my neighborhoods. Yeah, it was wrong. I genuinely did not know that. It's not, like, as obvious in the, I think it was quite obvious in, like, the English versions of the game. I grew up playing the Swedish version, and so, yeah, I genuinely did not know that. Yeah. Anyway, back to the story. He was one of the dukes, the otherworldly guardians of the natural order, who moved in the darkness and didn't leave their bodies when they died. Her family had said that Sarah approved of their relationship because she knew the Caribbean dukes already. Elizabeth had first met him when he'd come to see Spider, in fact, but now, decades later and with more experience, Elizabeth wondered if it was because she knew them, and not the legend or any of the horrible rumours about them. Come on, get to the phone, Eldon. You can do it. I mean, that was quite true. The house is actually quite pretty now. If he didn't answer her summons, and why would he, after she left him so abruptly so long ago, then it didn't matter anyway. And the boy dogs keep kicking the girl dog out of, like, she doesn't get a place to sleep, like, they're assholes. Taking a deep breath, she gathered what little courage she felt like she had left, and whispered his name into the soul of the dark, just like he taught her to, when she was 20-something years old and thought they'd love one another as close to forever as she could picture. She waited with a tear on her cheek and not daring to breathe, unlike she would have back then. Until the darkness curled and Divat the Duke appeared in the darkness, just like he would have all those years ago. He didn't seem surprised, not in her first glance at him, but merely the same. He had the same dark cloud of magic shrouding him, the same unnatural but lovely eyes, and the same feeling of magical awe that had never startled her like it did other people. Perhaps because she'd first felt it in the shop by spiders in Nook fireplace, and nothing dangerous ever came there. Then he frowned, not nearly blinded by the dark like she was, and reached out a hand towards the bruise on her cheek without actually touching. Elizabeth, who did this to you? His concern only deepened as her only reply was a hysterical sob, and the next moment she was crying into his shoulder. Dukes live long lives and stick around even longer. She'd always wondered if that was why he was always so patient, because he just had more time. He didn't rush her, but instead just waited for her to stop crying. Oh, I just realized I need a bookcase. Should we go for IKEA? Should we go for choices? I quite like that one. You came, she finally managed. He let go of her as she let go of him, and seemingly studied her in the dark. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? I was the one to leave you, she reminded him, but from what she could tell of his expression, this didn't enlighten him. Yes, he agreed instead, voice soft and soothing, but still holding a little bit of rage, which he could easily tell wasn't aimed at her. You left me, which you had the right to do. You're the mother of my children, and always will be. Of course I came. Now what happened? Spider hasn't had your heartbeat for years. Elizabeth was suddenly exhausted, and he must have seen it, because he just nodded. Can I take you back to her? She vehemently shook her head. My baby is in the house. I cannot leave her. He didn't ask. Instead he spoke in his own language, in that deeper tone which she could recognize as into the dark that made them. She had never learned to speak it, so the only word that she recognized was the power name of their eldest daughter. He spoke to her again a moment later. Rose will bring her sister back to the haven your family keeps. Now, can I? Half-sister. Elizabeth was relieved but also exhausted, and she had regrets. David was very clearly holding back what in a mortal would be the impulse to roll his eyes and mutter, "Humans," in a derogatory tone. What on earth does that matter? The saying was spiders, which was endlessly reassuring. She just nodded as a response to his earlier question, and then there was a moment of deeper darkness, and then she was home. That is the first part of the first short story in that collection. I really wish that you could store in the fridge like leftovers the same way you can in Sims 2. That's one I really miss in Sims 1. He has 3, she has 2. Okay. Chapter 2. Spider. Who did this to you? The ancient earth and fire witch was absolutely seething, and Elizabeth should have been terrified, but she just felt safe. Maybe not right now, Auntie Spicker, Divat suggested. She's traumatized and disoriented, and you two have no bedside manner. Elizabeth had recognized everything in the Love Street shop, run by her family for far longer than she could remember, up until this point, but this young woman with sun-bleached brown hair and delicate features was new to her. Then the 20-something turned to her, and she felt like the air was knocked out of her all over again. She had the kind but clever smirk of Elizabeth's father, and the deep purple eyes told her all she needed to know. Anemone, how do you greet a child? Your child. When they're suddenly next to you, a grown woman, and you missed it. We missed you. Are you all right? She was startled to realize that the near-identical woman sitting in the window and tending to a blade must be her next youngest daughter. Anemone smiled softly at her sister's non-comment. Well, obviously, I understand that, but we're starting with the basics. And Spider and Dad are both here, so the physical side can be patched up just fine. On that subject, can I kill whoever did this? My baby sister has a broken foot, and she's not even old enough to walk on said foot. What had to be Rose's voice came from the little dark cupboard where she and her father could enter the shop, and she strode into view looking no older than 12, but holding the full rage of the elder sister, grown up to be someone to be incredibly proud of, and she hadn't been there to see it happen. Oh, hi, Michelle. Yeah, I will keep this live up. It's the first part of a series, so you can watch it back whenever. Have a lovely rest of your busy weekend. And just to note, next live, by the way, will also be on a Saturday because I have a later shift at work. This live was only on Saturday instead of Friday because my voice wasn't quite back to being up for speaking as much as I do, so it's I decided to spread it out a little. Just to be on the safe side. I just had the flu. And I'm fine, but let's, be careful. I'm old and wise, I should act like it. Chapter 3. Ernst. Elizabeth got a whole hour of peace. The safety of being back in the haven watched over by Spider, with all her 4 daughters safe and sound, before her father turned up. She tensed as he walked in through the door, expecting him to yell. Expected him to tell her off for leaving them, for leaving her children, for being foolish. The list went on. He didn't. He gathered her up in a crushing hug, held her for a moment, and then he whispered into her hair, "I'm so glad that you're safe. Your mother and I have missed you." When he finally let go, his eyes went to the bruise on her cheek, and his dark voice was devastated as he asked, "Who did this to you?" More importantly, can I set them on fire, by any chance? Rose was sat in the window next to Bluebell. They made a strange picture, the formerly youngest sister and the eldest one, who looked half her age now. Rose's hair was smouldering as if in threat, not making the scene any more normal. "I'll help." David sat next to his grandfather, who had been carefully holding the baby for the last half hour, her broken foot now dealt with appropriately. "Please don't. I don't want that on my daughters, that one of their fathers murdered the other. Elizabeth didn't beg. We'd dive out. She knew he'd do as she asked. We could ask an uncle. Technically, we're not related, Rose pointed out, which wasn't bad reasoning. Rather, which wasn't bad reasoning. I think the story ends there, or I missed a page, quite possibly. Doesn't look like it. Short stories can be a little abrupt. John Butter. Wonder if he isn't making more money than Mama.
West. Ja, nou, zal een dien melkt over. Hup. Sheepnab. Bien, yep, toe. Yep, stop.
If I feed her now, maybe she'll actually take home a promotion.
Ow, ow.
I wanted her to get her comfort up. Yeah, that did nothing for her. Don't stand in the pea puddle! How are they doing with... Oh, look at that. Absolutely atrociously bad. None of them are housebroken. And he needs to be socialized. I mean... The dogs are socializing like each other fairly well, but mostly him. Training 3 dogs at the same time is a wee bit overwhelming. It's like getting triple babies. for pooping outside. I mean, peeing. Or whatever. Pee before you pee on the something that is meant to be peed on. Praise for peeing outside. How are we doing with the pee training? Pitifully. Oh my goodness. I've been watching too many of Ryan's lives, I think. Speaking of that, oh look at that. Ooh. I was gonna say, I promised recently to actually like sing the thing I'm singing in Ryan's chat. So we didn't start the fire. It was always Ryan, now the Sims are dying. We didn't start the fire. Ryan did ignite it, no one tried to fight it. That's what it sounds like. So now you have a frame of reference. We should really get Ryan to sing that at some point. He has read it, but he didn't sing it, which is atrocious. There we go. So I think today is gonna be a rather short live. However, I will aim for a longer one next week. And also feed myself some honey, I think, because I can already hear my voice being like, I have doubts. Meaning my voice has doubts, not that I have doubts. I don't have doubts, I'm way too stubborn. Oh, come on. You do your thing. I am notoriously stubborn, like at work as well. And Techie, who's now my boss, he's been like on the short end of that stick so many times. He's trying to tell me to do something and I'm like, they're like, you're not the boss of me, I don't take orders from you. Now of course he is the boss of me, and this week he had his first like, oh, this is how easy our boss's life was. Because he was trying to like, somebody else was trying to tell me to do something and I was there like, he's not the boss of me, I'm not doing it. And Techie, the Techie was kind of like, well technically I'm asking you to do with it and I'm sort of your boss. And I was like, yeah sure, I'll do as you say, like fine. And he's like, oh, this is how it's like, this is neat. Like, So that is how much of a force of nature I am at work. I'm just bullying my superiors casually. And yes, I do manage to get away with at work, looking people dead in the eyes and going, I don't take orders from you. I am very good at my job. And also pretty much always do exactly what I'm supposed to, so I think that's why they let me get away with this nonsense. Presumably. Maybe they're just easy to bully. It's quite funny though. Here we are. making some money now and they're doing things. That's a good start. I am going to leave it here, because that feels like a good stopping point. I don't know why I did these things separately. I will see you next Saturday. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend,